Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be this DIY zombie costume. This is kind of inspired by The Walking Dead. So I got together with my brother today, who you guys probably know. He has a YouTube channel here as well, and I will have that link down below. But we decided to create this really simple zombie costume. So we're going to be starting with a white cutoff t-shirt, and you're going to need a pair of scissors, a serrated knife, and then some food coloring or, shirt coloring if you ever plan to wear this more than once. But if it's just for a one-night Halloween kind of thing, you could just use food coloring. So what he's doing here is dipping the knife into the shirt with the serrated edge and just kind of ripping it apart in an irregular pattern. And then what I'm doing up there in the top left is just gathering a few little wrinkles together and then just cutting over the wrinkle to kind of create a pattern. So I'm just cinching the material together and then cutting the very top off of that. So we're just going to be repeating this process across the entire shirt. So I'm going to make some cuts bigger than others. That's exactly what he's doing too. And he is also kind of creating some fringe at the bottom. So he's just cutting the very, very base and then kind of ripping the fabric to make it look a little bit more fringy. And then what I'm doing is gathering some small wrinkles together to make small cuts and then some larger areas of wrinkles together to create some larger cuts. So for the bottom fringe, once you have a few good cuts, you can start to just kind of rip it with your hands, and that's kind of what he's doing there. So here we decided to be a little bit not that smart, and we decided to light the shirt on fire. So I would definitely not recommend doing this inside, and if you are a child, I would recommend having a parent help you with this, or maybe just not even doing this at all, because once we got done with it, you really couldn't even tell that we had burnt it as much as you could before we added all of the stuff. So what I was kind of thinking, instead of doing this, because it was not really that safe, but I still wanted to show you guys anyway, because I guess it's an option, but you just have to be very careful. I will not be held responsible for any accidents. But what you can do instead is just take some darker paint or some darker food coloring and color just the very edges of the rips to make it look like the edges are kind of singed by fire. So we just did this on most of the holes. Like I said, I don't know. I really feel kind of weird recommending people to do this, so I just don't. I think any kind of food coloring or just even a Sharpie or something would be a lot more safe and would make a lot more sense for doing this. So anyway, we're gonna move on from this now. So what I'm doing here is we have mixed in a little spray bottle some food coloring and water. We've mixed a little bit of red and brown to kind of create an old blood type of color, and you can kind of play around with the spray bottle and see the way it sprays. So we did a few like drips like that where you'll see the bigger drops going down, and then you can also just kind of tint the shirt with this color as well. So as you can see on the right, there's definitely some more color. If you just do a full spray versus doing like a half spray, you'll get some of the little drips. So what Garrett's doing over here on the right is taking a product called Blood Scab, and he is just going to be scattering this around the shirt. This is a really awesome product, but it is a special effects makeup product, so it's not something you'd want to use if you ever plan to wear the shirt again. This would just be an absolute wreck if you put it in the wash. So I'm also going to be taking some little blood capsules and cutting those open and dripping that around. Both of the products I just mentioned, you could easily find at any specialty Halloween shop or maybe on Amazon. So what we're doing here is we have mixed some brown food coloring and water together, and we're going to be spraying that around kind of like we did with the red, and that's just going to give it a really grungy, dirty, kind of rolling around in the mud type of feel. So we are just going to be spraying this around everywhere and adding some more blood and absolutely wrecking the shirt. He took the hanger and kind of smeared it around the neck to just give it a really kind of creepy splattered blood effect. And then he's going to be taking the shirt and rolling it up and smearing all of the product together. So the last thing we're going to be doing is spraying some green on there as well. I feel like green and red and brown are just like typical zombie colors. Kind of gives it a little bit of a decaying effect. So we just mix some green food coloring and water together and just really lightly spraying this around and kind of tinting the shirt more than leaving the drips like we did with the other two colors. Okay, so I just said that that was the last thing, but really this is the last thing. So we mixed some brown food coloring and water together and then just left the fringy edges in the bowl. Since we used a cotton shirt, it did kind of make its way up the shirt a little bit and kind of give it like a brown dirt ombre effect. So he just squished that in there and we left it in for maybe about 15-20 minutes, and then all of the products that we use actually dry out completely, so we just left this outside for a little bit to dry, and this is the final look. He like smeared some grass all over himself too, and we put some dirt on him. It was pretty awesome. So this is the final look. If you guys want to see the makeup that we did for this costume, that video is going to be up tomorrow on my channel. So I'm going to have a zombie makeup tutorial to go along with this shirt. And that is it for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow.